And we roll on the Friday edition of Barn Burner. Hey, how we doing? There's the Rhettster. There's Ryan Pinder. We are separately together in the Tower Chrysler studios. Another cold day here in Calgary. Another reminder: swing by Tower, take those winter clothing items. Need them: coats, boots, mitts, gloves, hand warmers, whatever you got. They will take them down at the dealership, and they're going to jam the Ram and then take it over to the mustard seed at the end of the month. And if you do stop by, put some stuff into the Ram, they'll enter you into a prize draw. You'll win something nice at the end of the month. TowerChrysler.com. 10901 McLeod Trail South. You know where it is. Go and say hi to Sir.
Anderson Station.
He was
straight there off McLeod.
He was doing yoga last night. He said that's how he keeps warm. Yeah. Goes into the
sweat out those.
Get all sweaty. Yeah.
Sweat out those Flames losses. Yeah.
Yeah. Losses,
Be careful with that yoga hamstrings.
Hammies.
I think probably if you do it correctly and enough, your body adapts. Unlike the way maybe you or I would do it, where it's like, I should do some yoga, and then you're,
prove it.
Good to see everyone.
It's nice to see you, Dean. You look refreshed. Last night I turned the tube on at about 12:30, 1 o'clock Buffalo time, and fatigue had set in, big fella. Fatigue had taken over the facial area. I mean, it's not it is a criticism. But it's more of an observation. It's not your fault. Yeah. You live a tough life.
It's just the lighting. It's the lighting.
Plus you self-sabotage. So I mean, there's that.
Well, what the hell were you doing up at that time of night? You should have come on.
I thought about coming on and actually taking over for you because I could tell Kerr was wound up and ready to go. And I'm like, boom, is not going to be able to handle this. So I better step in. And then I thought, I don't know if I can handle Kerr either. So I didn't know how to approach it.
He's a stallion. I said, you just open the gates and he's gonna go.
Finally,
he's gonna go.
Man.
Look at how happy he is. Look at him.
Jesus, pig and shit. Just fired up. And Dean's like, if you could shoot me now, it would save a lot of pain.
Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Yeah.
Kerr's like, I've got a point. After their performance, Dean's like, we just need a fucking win. Jesus.
No, Kerr was saying that points not enough when you have a 3-1 lead. Kerr was disappointed. He said that was no good. No moral victories.
Now, I took the game in this morning off the PVR for reasons we talked about yesterday, and I think you miss a bit when it's on PVR. I really feel like that tension and the pauses, that's part of watching it and really feeling the game. Did you feel like they hit a wall and ran out of gas in that third, or was it just, these guys are mental midgets and the lead is the scariest thing in the world to have?
You go ahead, Rhett.
Well, to me, it looked like as soon as Vladar let in the Civ goal, it was Panic City. And it's sad because I actually think over the last little week or so from the Rangers game on, they've responded and played hard, and they had emotion. The kids were running around again. It was good. They were playing hard. There was intensity in their game. I can't criticize. Like, I thought they were pumping the Knights pretty good. Like, they were taking it to them. And then 4-3 loss. You kind of look back and go, how did that happen? Vladar's got to save that one. And I don't know what Hanifin is doing with the puck. Like, I think it's Carrier just pokes it off his stick just inside the blue line for the third goal with 7 minutes left. Like, you got to take control of the puck there. There's no reason for that to end up in your own zone. You got it on a regroup, a guy coming straight at you. There's nothing else to look at. How does he get to you, knock it into your own end and forecheck you? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand that one.
Well, and I think you mentioned it last night, Dino, with Kerr. It's like, look, there's a lot of moral takeaways here, but there just isn't runway for moral victories right now. You outplay the crap out of Philly and don't get points. You leave a point on the table last night instead of wrapping up a 3-1 win. You could have 8 of a possible 8 over your last 4 with good efforts, but I'm sorry, like, there's no column where you get partial points for moral victories. They only got 1 last night, and there was 2 available right there for you.
And it's because they shot themselves in the foot earlier in the year with shitty efforts, right? You showed up to games and didn't put in.
Playing better.
Yeah. So if you'd have played better earlier, you could maybe walk out of Vegas and go, you know what? We got a point. It was back-to-back games. We got 3 out of 4 points on this road trip so far. We should feel good. But you don't have you got no room for error because you pissed away games earlier in the year.
Now you need points
And,
in Denver,
and,
that's not easy,
and maybe the biggest concern, sorry, Pinder, maybe the biggest concern now is I don't trust either goalie.
Yep. I almost am hoping for a goalie injury because I think the only guy they trust right now is in the American League.
Wouldn't that be a
crazy.
blessing? Wouldn't that be? That's that's
0304
all over again. 0304 all over again.
They really
Hurt the
like
goalies and bring in some random dude.
And look, it's not a guarantee. He's never played a game in the league. It's a massively different league, and there's pressure that comes along with all that. It would be silly to paint a kid as a savior that's never played in the league unless it's like a Bedard. This is a 7th rounder who has been told he's too small to play in the NHL his whole life. Like, maybe he is a great NHL goalie, but when you feel like that's the guy to save the team, you've put yourself in a pickle. Hey, this kid that's never played in the league, he's going to save it.
It is. It seems ridiculous, but I think he's the kind of kid that clearly has had to go around the hockey world kind of like this his whole life. And it's like, you don't have to believe in me. I believe in myself, and that's probably good enough.
Yep.
I still, yes, I agree with all of that. That White Cloud goal is a hard one because I'm team Vladar right now. I don't know how, because it's a mental thing. It's not an injury. It's not if we rehab Markstrom, he's going to be fine. I just don't know. That you talk about runway. Is there enough time left for him to work through some things during games? I just don't know. The White Cloud one is tough. And I asked Kerr last night, who do you go with Saturday in Colorado? I guess I can ask you guys. It's back-to-back for Vladar. Is it just a natural now because of the loss? You go back to Markstrom?
I do.
Sounded like that with Sutter. Post-game, he was asked about why you went with Vladar, and he said, well, it's a win and you're going to stay in. And we were doing that with Markstrom. He just couldn't string things together. And so he didn't win. It's a point, but it's not like a look at them. They fought back and got a point. It's, oh my God.
No. He didn't win. No. It's worse than he didn't win. He cost them 2.
Yeah, and that's fair. Right. And that's what I was saying. It wasn't like, hey, good work coming back and getting a point. It feels like you had a point taken away from you. You didn't earn one last night. And that was because you let a soft goal. And I think we also should talk about soft fucking goalie interference penalty. Like, like Walker Duer gets pushed into their goalie, and it's early in the game. They have a big lead. Walker wouldn't hurt another goalie unless he was talking bad about his teammates. Now
there's something I think that we've missed. They had a 3-1 lead going into the third. That's good. It's on the road. You've never won in Vegas. I agree with you, Rhett. Through 2, you look like the better team and all of that. Mm-hmm. But we should have known, really. And we have a video here that we should have known not only that something was going to happen, but who was going to start it. It was 2-0 for Calgary. And lo and behold, someone who came up on yesterday's show starts the rally, if you want to call it that, for the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go to the video from yesterday's Barn Burner edition.
Rhett, don't be giving us that confused look. You know exactly what's
happening
here.
I do. I was hoping the video won't work, so maybe we could just gloss over this.
I'll wait all day. We got all day. Jinxie Pants size Warner from yesterday's show.
I'm not Jinxie Pants, so I'm allowed to talk about. I've never been Jinxie Pants. It's you two that are Jinxie Pants.
All right.
No, I think there's enough to go around.
I was trying to say that Jack Eichel just really wasn't an impactful player anymore.
He's the shits.
Looked pretty good last night.
Kind of what I was alluding to. But I see the video's not working, so there's no proof of any of this that even happened.
Yeah, I know.
Alex,
right? No, I have faith in Alex. Like I said, I'll wait all day, because it's uncanny. But I guess when you do enough talk show and you're talking every day and you mention enough players, inevitably you're gonna find a way to jinx or come off as a Jinxie Pants. Doesn't seem to go the other way though. When we pick players for the Betway Bets of the day, that seems a lot harder to find guys that we mentioned on the show, and then all of a sudden, what an unbelievable performance!
Things though, right? Like we should almost, when we
Shit
poke
talk
fun,
funds.
yeah, we got to follow it up with placing some money on these people.
Well,
and I think Seattle's good.
We'll see how it goes here. I guess we'll move on.
We'll
Alex is clearly in Warner's corner here. Now I'm frozen. Do I need to reconnect? Son of a gun.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Was it me?
We're back. There. I don't know.
Did you lose me?
I was gone. You were gone. Rhett was gone. We're all gone.
I wonder if something's up.
Yeah. Alex gone? We couldn't get that video.
I'm not sure what's going on.
I froze.
Me too.
As did I.
Is Alex alive? Is there a
maybe Alex can't hear or see us?
Because Alex,
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy here?
In the tub right now. Did somebody come in and hit him over the head, and he's in the bathtub? Sorry, Recp.
Dropped the radio in there.
Toaster.
It's crazy here. There was people skating on their front lawns.
You said ice storm, and I did want you to expand on that. We don't get those here. When people say that, we hear of it in other parts of the world, and we get lots of weather here. But ice storm is not something we see. So explain this to us.
It started out as a wet mist and a little bit of snow, and then the temperature dropped. And honestly, there was about this much ice, a layer of ice on my vehicle, and then when you're driving down the freeway, it's like big sheets of plywood blowing off the tops of vehicles, right? It gets under that, and there's just 5 feet wide chunks of ice flying everywhere. And then my kids, they had videos of these other kids skating on their front lawns because I don't know how to describe it. It's a skating rink. It's a bloody skating rink. It's crazy. Yesterday, I went outside after the show, and I slid from the front start of the driveway all the way down to the bottom, and I was lucky I didn't go down completely and clunk my head. But yeah, not on purpose either. I took a step, I'm like, ooh, oh, oh, and away I went.
You fall in those
It really
ribs.
is something special that you selected of all places in the world to move away from Canada to. This topped the power rankings. It only gets better with each passing week, I feel like.
Hey, they were golfing. Listen, they were golfing 3 days ago. So, God, that's still. And you know what? Curtis Brown might be moving back. Curtis Brown, folks.
Okay, give us more.
You guys remember Curtis Brown?
I do, but not as well as you would. So,
yeah, I played against
Moose Jaw Warrior PA Raider. Yeah.
He
that's it. That's the
second rounder to Buffalo. Played against him growing up in Saskatchewan all the time. Then we had the same agent.
Story. Yeah.
And we played in Buffalo together. Well, sorry, I'm talking about an ex-NHLer. Okay. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about great news because we have the video from yesterday. I've contacted Alex, and he's managed to find the video. Yeah.
Good.
Warner Jinxie Pants. Let's take a listen. Let's take a look to it. It's weird how it goes.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Weird how it goes.
It's not going to work. I pay Alex a lot of money not to.
I guess so. I guess so. Some kind of sabotage. Here we go.
God, I'm ugly. What are our thoughts on Jack Eichel right now? What are our thoughts on Jack Eichel right now?
His first full season. Let's see. Yeah.
I mean, you're saying he hasn't been
superstar to star.
Yeah, he hasn't been as good without Stone, and it's like, well, if you're supposed to be a top 5 centerman in the league, you probably don't or shouldn't be relying on other people to help you out.
And to be fair, I don't think he's that anymore. So,
and it's not as though he stinks or anything. He's got 18 goals, 40 points in 44 games. But when the Flames were in that mix, we talked about him as a superstar.
Played back to the point. Theodore. Eichel shoots, scores. That breaks the direct. Power play goal makes it a 1-1.
Come on, Vladar, you sieve.
Played back to the point. Theodore.
Only 5.5 to go in the period there. Eh? Could have got to the.
Would have been big.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So, and you may recall, he also had the puck in his stick to start the overtime winner as well.
Speaking of
goal and
overtime,
Jack Eichel.
Who decided to change and just piss off or just go, that
was a weird change from Backlund, wasn't it?
I'm going to go change.
Yes,
and then who decided to jump
Michael.
on the ice and not back check? It was very similar to the Rangers game, in my opinion.
Rangers overtime.
Zadorov could have probably taken a different angle and went at the puck instead of into the empty corner where nothing was happening in New York. But
still Zadorov,
last night,
it just kills me.
If you back check hard instead of think about going to score, they don't score that goal.
It's a
lazy
lot of
changes,
right?
Just kill me. And I maybe it's a minor hockey thing. And once you're in the show, don't talk to me about line changes. Get the fuck off the ice. It's especially in 3-on-3. Either dig in or get off.
Yeah.
Christ, it just.
You see what Backlund's trying to do, but I don't think that's the right time for it. You're not wiped.
It gets
it's
worse.
Early. Yeah.
The more you watch it, the worse it looks. And I thought Michael was good last night. I thought he's been good for a while. He's been good all year. But that was not a great moment. So thanks for the loss, Rhett. 0-7-1 in Vegas. 0-7-1, right? They had a lead for a while. That's good.
I was also thinking that maybe I was the jinx for Afterburner because they were going to go back-to-back wins and things were going to be impressive. You guys are, dialed in on Afterburner for victories, and because I've only seen I think one, and then
St. Louis.
Oops.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, no one's seen many.
Stuff.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, you're one bit win behind the rest of us.
Flames are going to catch Seattle.
Seattle's bottom's come out a little bit, hasn't it? It's weird because.
Well, I was going to ask you because we're in scoreboard watch mode, I guess, because of it's game 59 last night. Nashville wins, Minnesota wins. That gap now is. You look, they're 4 back of Seattle in the division, and they're 1 point back of Colorado, who have 4 games in hand. But I wonder, to your point, Rhett, who are you putting your crosshairs on? Is it Seattle? Is it Minnesota? Do you feel like you can put Nashville? You can't in the rearview mirror. What's the mindset now as you go into the final week of February?
I just think that Minnesota's a good team and they're going to find their way out of this. Whereas I think Seattle's one of those teams where they've played well, and I probably don't give enough respect to their lineup, but I think they're a fight for a playoff spot kind of team at best, and I think they're a team that possibly the way they're playing, you can go out and catch. But
LA's interesting too. They've only scored 1 more goal than they've allowed. They're a +1. That's the worst differential of any team in a playoff position in the NHL. And Phoenix Copley, we keep waiting for him to not look like someone not named Phoenix Copley. But
Pinder, you can't do it. Pinder, you can't. Not after Stauber, Sogard, Hellberg, Urson, Brossois. You can't be bringing up other teams' goalies and be like, oh, well, maybe it could be a soft spot there.
You're missing my entire point. I'm saying give him credit. He's lasted longer than I thought. Like, he's done very well. Maybe he is the solution there. They just extended him. They like him. He was awesome in the A this year from the accounts I've heard. Like, I was waiting for the wheels to fall off. They might not for him. He's their best goalie. So, and I like their depth, and they were a tough out for Edmonton in round 1 last year. I was waiting for them to follow the pack. They haven't.
It's a good team.
They're
all good teams. Watching Seattle last night, they gave Boston. They were a handful for Boston last night. I don't know.
Somehow lost in regulation.
It's a good team. Oh, it's 4-4.
It's pasta.
It was tied at 4. Anyway, so loss on Rhett, Colorado, go to Markstrom, just so we can kind of put a
Yeah.
put the final touches on this game from last night.
Do you feel better about this team right now, though? Like, I think it was just a week ago we were absolutely slamming them, and it was easy targets, left, right, center. You could pick whoever you wanted and take a shot at them because nobody was really, because the efforts weren't looking that good. And then
I asked Kerr last
like,
night, if you go back those first periods against the Flyers, they were down 1-0, but were clearly the better team. Last night, great start. Arizona, obviously, it was 18-8, the shots on goal. The Rangers, they had a good start there. They were up 2-0. It's 4 straight games where the effort has been better. The results continue to be mixed, but I do I feel better about them? I think so. Do I feel good enough about them yet? Not quite.
No, but I like even watching Huberdeau smile after scoring last night, and the way Pelche's played, and having Dewar in there with some energy. Like the Backlund line is continuing to prove they look in. I don't know what the magic pill they've taken is, but they look more invested, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, you're not looking at a bunch of flat efforts.
I think the process has been a lot better. It's just a shame they're in the spot they're in because, you could certainly have won each of your last 4, and instead you've got no points on Monday and a loser point last night.
If you put points in there, then you for sure are going to fight to get in, and you've given a clear indication to your GM, hey, we're there, we're good. Let's add so we can know we have chance in the playoffs to do some damage. Instead, the poor GM sitting there going, the hell am I supposed to do here? Like, what are we doing? Am I subtracting? Am I adding? Am I status quo? I'm guessing
there's not much to do, I don't think. Yeah.
No.
There's no major enigma and hard. Sorry, Ryan, hard to figure out. You look at the goaltending. If it's a little bit better, I looked this morning. Obviously, the record in 1-goal games. It's not everything, but 13, 10, and 12. They are in terms of 5-on-5 goals, and we feel like they're goal hungry, goal starved. They're 9th overall. They have 135-on-5 goals. That's not terrible. If their goaltending was a little bit better, and Christ, if they could win a game if they could win past regulation, 5-12. Let's even split that a little bit. Give them an extra 4 or 5 points.
Yep.
I get the argument where maybe they're not that far away. Sometimes these things happen. Teams turn when you just don't see how things can turn. It's just how sports goes sometimes. But it's hard 59 in to just feel like you're going to start and get 1 or 2 more saves or 1 or 2 more power play goals or whatever it is, because it doesn't feel like the gap is a mile wide between them and being a competitive team that can get in and maybe be a handful in a playoff series.
And we also see their record against playoff teams. I mean, they pick up 1 of 2 points last night, but they were 608 or 609 points percentage against playoff teams heading into last night's game. It's not like they're overmatched with the class of the league. It's that they've really fallen flat against weaker foes. You could see how, I would understand if there's more urgency in that room, that veteran room with a lot of skilled players, because they understand the situation. You have to now come out and work your tails off against Arizona. You can't throw your hands up and quit. And look, it's a third of a season they got left here. Best get going here. Best figure out, if you got a goal you can trust, and if not, yikes.
Colorado, Boston, Toronto.
And then Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota. Like that's a murderer's row. But again, 608 or whatever against playoff teams. Who knows with this crew?
I feel like we'll have our answer though, right? Given those opponents. Well, if you can hang, and you're gonna feel a lot better. But if you don't, you're just the math isn't gonna be there for you.
Yeah, and I think sort of a microcosm of that. Like, let's say they pick up out of a possible 12 points, they pick up 7. Like maybe it looks the exact same. You don't have clarity, but it's the 2 games against Minnesota. You got 2 4-point games over 4 nights. The second one's in Minnesota after they play in Dallas the night before. If you can take 4 and give none to Minnesota, that might make up for blemishes all over the place. And conversely, if you're going to drop 4 points to Minnesota, like curtains, boys. I know there's lots of other games, but that just feels like such a huge couple of games over 4 nights.
Madrose Pub they've given us the docket for the month of March. I realize we got a couple home games, but once we get into March, 4
get ready
games that we have tickets for at the Dome for the Flames. The Wild, Vegas, the Ducks, and the Kings. We're going to be sending some of our listeners, viewers, fans off to those games courtesy of Mad Rose Pub. Maddie taking good care of us, eh? Taking good care of us. If you're up in that quadrant, this weekend, stop in, have some pizza, have some war wonton soup, have an icy cold beverage, which doesn't feel like you need one right now, but you might by Saturday, Sunday. You're going to want that. It's great food. It's great people. 20 beers on tap, kid-friendly Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 15 Royal Vista Place. Check out their website, madrose.pub. Daily specials. The food is great. The atmosphere is awesome. The people are awesome. We can't say enough about Mad Rose Pub, and look forward to giving away some tickets to the Flames games coming up in the month of March. Thank you for that, Mad Rose Pub. Appreciate you. Now, Warner, we had Rob Kerr on Afterburner last night. Late game, even though you were up, Warner. So we took over from here. Ryan was slated to go on this one, but kind of not a last minute, but it was Sunday. You're like, hey, what about Thursday? Are you thinking Thursday? You had plans last night that you couldn't make after. And what was it?
Well, there's an Aussie singer-songwriter named Vance Joy, who my better half adores, being Aussie and being that I think it was the first concert we went to about 9 years ago, weeks after meeting. And so she had these tickets purchased like 6-7 months in advance. And I just was like, sure, it's so far in the future. I'll deal with this shit later. And sure enough, last week, and I'm like, oh no, that's this week. Yeah, I get some runway, I get some leash, and
is that
turn.
It there? Is that the show you were at?
That's Vance right there. It was the Jack Singer right down by City Hall at the Arts Commons there. Good room, great looking crowd, and my wife really liked the music. So,
Rhett, have you heard of Vance Joy? Are you familiar?
I don't. Only from yesterday, he mentioned Vance Joy. I wanted to get Aussie Brad to give us
ones. Yeah,
top 40.
Well, it's funny you mention because if there is somebody that would know more about Vance Joy than you and I, it would be Aussie Brad, who is from our Australian bureau. And apparently Aussie Brad came through with a little more clarity on just what Ryan was doing last night and gave us the Vance Joy and Aussie Brad update.
Yeah.
Righto, boys. I just wanted to chime in back down in the man cave. I want to show you a bit of a view and chime in about this cocksucker Vance Joy. I tell you what, that cunt there is one of the most fucking pussy blokes you'll ever see play music. I don't know. He's a good Aussie fella, but I don't know about going to a concert, Pinder. Fuck me. This is the Flames now. You like this, Pinder. In 2021, we drank that many stubbies. 23, you open them here, they drop straight in. We still got to attack this a bit more, but we got the bloody TV up here, got the fireplace up here, and you fellas, look at this retro, look how young this little whippersnapper is. Jeez, he's a young whippersnapper there, isn't he? Young buck. I've got my Kent King jersey here, fellas. And the view's not bad. I've got the bar here, we've got the frothy over here.
Yes.
This is where we sort out a bit of the world's problems, man, the boys. We get here and get stuck into it and sort it all out. But what you guys need to know is Vance Joy, that cunt there, he's definitely a pussy. I'm with you, Retro. Good on you, boys. Keep punching.
Keep punching.
Keep punching.
We got to do a show. We got to do a show. Yes.
I've been texting with Aussie Brad. He's outside Melbourne, which is one of the great cities on earth. F1, beautiful tennis major, all kinds of Aussie rules, cricket if you're into it, food, music, it's got everything. Melbourne's like the best. He's just outside of Melbourne. And Vance Joy used to be what Aussie Nan calls a football player, which I believe means he was like a semi-pro Aussie rules guy. So handsome, big, strong Aussie, but just the sappiest of songs. Good Lord. Anyway.
There he is. What a beauty. Aussie Brad. Keep it keep punching.
We need more background on him. How did the Flames thing begin? Where did you get that jersey? Ken King, Jerome. I love it. Like this is we're getting repped on the other side of the world here. It's 17 time zones away.
I'm going to send Doug to Aussie Brad's. Doug is going
He's already asked it. He said, when's Doug coming, and is he near Melbourne? So we
Doug
can connect.
is flying right into Melbourne.
Oh,
first class Doug, right into Melbourne. He's nailing
I'll add
it.
into that the bottle cap pile. There's no doubt about that.
He can go talk. Tell him to look up my buddy. Oh, I got a Muddy River, or he might change the name of the company, because it looks like he's kind of in the farm there. And my Doug's helping his good friend Peter Jack, an ex-tough guy from the minor leagues who does sells farm equipment over in Aussie land.
I feel like we got a pal there, boys.
Is that man cave, by the way?
Oh,
that TV is massive. Look at the fireplace. Jesus.
Fireplace.
So,
yes.
What climate-wise, Pinder? How cold? Like, what's the seasonal? Like, is that a 12-month a year, doors open kind of thing, or what's he got there?
I feel like a crisp fall day would be as bad as it gets in winter there.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, pretty Scottsdale-esque, and a little more moisture, obviously. And it's not as hot as Brisbane and Gold Coast. It's a little further south there, so closer to Antarctica on the other side of the globe there, but still really, really amazing weather. And summer there right now, so open air for sure. You don't want walls. You want that air to swing through and help cool you off.
Well,
you know what I'd like?
It's nice to let the snakes crawl through there too.
Yeah, let them come in. Charlie Pride. Snakes crawl at night. You know what I'd like is for Pinder to tell his wife, yeah, I've got a work trip coming up. Going to Australia. I'll tell you all about it when I get back. Yeah. That'd be easy to pull off, right?
Well, she was there. She was in Melbourne just after Christmas, caught some Aussie Open in Jan. That's the time to go. It's such a phenomenal event. And early on in that tournament, rounds 1, 2, and 3, you can go see whoever you want. Cheap to get in, see some of the world's best. Cricket, saw a game at the MCG, largest stadium in the Southern Hemisphere. Let's do it.
We'll go Melbourne for a month.
Oh, yeah. They got internet in Australia. We'll just, I'll sleep in the man cave.
Yeah.
Well, issues as far as time change, though.
17 hours. I feel like the show's at 3 a.m. So you're up anyway.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. We record it, and then they play it here when they need be. We tape it whenever we want Aussie time, and then it's ready for the next morning or the previous morning, however we do it. We'll just get into that rotation.
I feel like Flames need to be on at 9 a.m. there. So we'll get up, we watch the game, throw something in the can, get on with our day, and the show's posting whenever they need to. Love it. What a beauty.
Aussie Brad, send us your coordinates. We're coming. Let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. Once the snow and cold goes away, it's going to be sloppy and gross. You're going to want a clean car. You're going to need a clean car. Village Honda. It's not just a spray booth. They've got a state-of-the-art. I know they put up with the new dealership when it went up, a beautiful state-of-the-art whole kind of cleaning facility at the side of the building there. Detailing packages start at just $79.95. Protect your vehicle from the harsh elements of winter and treat yourself. There's nothing better than a pristine, clean vehicle. Village Honda, the website villagehonda.com. They are in the Northwest Auto Mall. They're your dealership for life. And they bring you the Pinder Report.
Fellas, game 2 of a 3-game road trip down south. It started in Arizona. Short flight to Vegas for yesterday's contest. They'll close it out Saturday against Colorado. Let's go to last night's game after picking up 2 in comeback fashion against the Coyotes. Flames had a lead against Vegas, and something that seemed to swing the momentum a bit, this very questionable goaltender interference call. And I'm not going to go hang the loss on it, but I mean, what's Walker Duehr supposed to do there when a guy can openers him into his own goalie? That's a shitty call, Dean. It was 2-0 there. They'd score on that power play.
Clips his stick in the top of his pad.
Walker Duehr! He closes him because he's getting mugged.
You can't go through the crease. Come on, he knows better, kid. He's a kid. He doesn't know anything. He said.
You see what Rhett's doing. He's defending the defenseman who just push guys into their goalies all day and think that's best practice. I don't know.
What'd you think of the D play there? Defense,
beauty. Get him,
good solid. See how he takes his hand off his stick and places it on the forward of the player with the puck. That's not a penalty. Oh, it's a penalty that you throw him into your own goal and you get to go in the power play. That's just a savvy defensive veteran move, Rhett. Talk about
veteran guys. They know how to do this. That's right. This kid, he doesn't know what's going on. Go around.
What Aussie Brad would think. What do you think? What would Aussie Brad have to say?
Aussie Brad would kick the snot out of McNabb right there. Bam!
There you go. There'll be some talk about that, but let's be honest. They got one shot in the third period, I believe. Not enough. Seemed to hit a wall. Second game in 2 nights. Great start. Credit to that Jacob Pelche played a whale of a game. But that said, a loss could have been, you want to talk about ifs and buts and candy and nuts. I mean, Rasmus Andersson late has this look on the power play. They did have a man advantage in the final 5 minutes of play, and look how close they get to winning this thing in regulation. That's the
James Patrick hit the post in the 99 Game 6 triple overtime too. You know, I didn't get anything for that.
99 Game 6.
Is that Jeep? Jeep could have been the hero. What do you?
I didn't make Buffalo. Okay, sorry, I was thinking about James
ball soup.
Yeah,
you're eating soup.
Anyway, it's a loss.
Matzo ball. Yeah,
it's
really good.
Hold it up. Let's see it.
I'm trying to do a Pinder report here. This is unbelievable. He's got matzo ball soup.
Oh god damn! Did you make that? No, that's outside matzo ball soup.
Oh yeah, no, that's Johnny C's. I think Johnny C's some of the best subs in town.
What do you think of dumplings? My dad used to make like chicken soup and then would make dumplings.
I love it.
Fuck, this is a chicken and dumpling day, man.
But I made it for my kids once. And I made it for my kids when they hated it. I made chicken and dumpling soup. And
kids don't know what they're talking. Kids are idiots.
You're right. They're stupid.
Especially our kids.
Our kids are friggin' idiots. Just losers. Let's go to Afterburner last night. Special guest host Rob Kerr. I don't know if he did the smelling salts before, but he was a galloping last night. Just Dean hanging on for a thread. Looks like you're on life support there, buddy.
Yeah, old Kersey. Look at him.
Look how happy he is.
Look at him. As they said, the return of Kerboom. If anyone was, I'm not sure how many people were clamoring for it, but there it was.
Well, my mom apparently was. There you go, eh?
I thought it was only after a loss or after a win.
I'll take it. Right.
You know what that is, Retro? That's Afterburner, everybody. Flames lose. See you next week. Night.
Brass Bonanza.
See you, everybody.
Outstanding. Well done, fellas. Love the Brass Bonanza.
That is Brass Bonanza.
I don't even know what that's about.
It was the win song for the Hartford Whalers. And the whole thing is, Rob loves it. And he used to play it when he was doing overtime on 960. He would play Brass Bonanza. And his gripe always was that when Brian Burke went to Hartford, he shit-canned Brass Bonanza. It was like, well, how could you do it? And I think we asked him about it. He's like, it wasn't me, it was the players. Somebody said something about getting
it was a stupid song. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you listened to 960 back in the day, you'd hear that whenever Kerr was on the post-game show. So it was a
they've kept it alive late as well. If there's ever a big winning streak, I think they went on 10 in a row. Or was it 8 in a row with Jeff Ward when he took over for Peters? I think they're playing Brass Bonanza then. It's legendary. Teach your kids about Brass Bonanza. Don't let them grow up to be
maybe
idiots,
that's the galvanizing thing that the Flames need.
Do you not nap anymore?
I thought it was only after a loss or after a win. What?
That's
what?
Well, I'm just the start of that clip of you and Kersey. I wondered, like, you used to be notorious for being a wonderful napper. Didn't appear that or maybe it appeared that you had missed your nap, and I was wondering if you've cut them out of your life or what's going on there.
It's been. I know, it's a nice way to dance, right? No, there's no napping anymore. Yesterday, you remember for the show, we were at the casino, and then from the casino back to the studio, and we had to set the gear back up. And then we were tinkering around because Just the Game, Rob's new show, we're trying to find a spot in the studio, have a dedicated kind of a set and a setup for him with lights and cameras and all that. And then by the time you get home, you got to make dinner, and then you make dinner and you watch the game and you watch the game and you do the thing. And yeah. But thank you for your concern. I appreciate that.
Everyone should
that's what it was.
Concerned. If you see that face, there's that. Everyone's concerned. Like, whoa, it's the boom boom.
Get some sleep.
Just my camera's too good.
No, camera's not tired. You're fucking tired. We didn't like this change in overtime, fellas, but Michael Backlund's been on an undeniable heater since the calendar turned from 2022 to to 2023. Here's Ryan Pike with maybe the stat of the new year. As many even strength points as Connor McDavid in the same number of games. Yes, McDavid feasts on the power play as elite stars do, but Backlund, that's very impressive. Even strength, getting things done. We've really liked that line with Mangiapane and Coleman, Dino, and they were good again last night until the stinking change in overtime.
And I get it. People will say, "Oh, Connor McDavid, what kind of?" You're not comparing. It's just that's a good barometer whenever you bring McDavid into the conversation. And yeah, it's even strength points. It's not necessarily a shot against McDavid, but it tells you that not only is we expect Backlund to be a good performer 5-on-5, that's more points than you would expect Backlund to have. It has been. It's too bad that changed. He's been so good until that change.
Went to overtime too, right? He deflected that one in overtime against the Rangers on Saturday. Pelche's starting to warm up as well. Really liked him. I think a lot of guys. I didn't hear the toast of the game. I assume Pelche would have been in the mix for that, Dino, as he's all of a sudden back-to-back multi-point games.
He just looks so comfortable right now. And we talked about it earlier. I think Rhett brought it up there. It just ran through my mind after the great feed to Huberdeau in the goal. It was like, could this young French Canadian get this veteran French Canadian? Could there be some sort of a bond between these two guys? Because we heard, Pelche talked about obviously you look up to this guy. If there could be some mentor-student chemistry come out there, I mean, maybe I'm squinting, but it would be an incredible story if that line and those guys could make each other better.
Totally.
Flames need it to happen.
They sure do. And here's why. Minnesota victorious last night. You noted Nashville as well. Flames still sitting 9th in the West. And that gap with Minnesota expanding to 3 points. Wild still hold a game in hand. They're one back of Colorado, who's got 4 games in hand. They'll play tomorrow. One little note for you, Dean. The Flames on Saturdays, I mean, think about the afterburner record. Think about the non-afterburner record. They haven't lost on a weekend game for ages, and they haven't lost on a Saturday since, I think, December 10. So obviously it's a day of the week thing. Guaranteed win night Saturday. Let's go.
Awesome.
Come home with 5 to 6.
That's the day coming up. Yep.
Yeah, coming up. There you are. Flames playoff probabilities have taken a nosedive. This is Dom's model from The Athletic. Look at them falling. They're now around that 2/3 mark. Still not as low as I think a lot of other models have them around 50% or lower. But again, it speaks to this is a talented lineup that just hasn't been getting anything close to league average net mining. Power plays looked a little better of late, Dean. That's something to think about. But the direction of the red line, probably the biggest concern here for the Flames.
How about the Ducks at the bottom?
Yeah, didn't really
flat line. San Jose. Boop, I like that one.
No, I don't really believe in it.
Are we ready to go through? Are we ready to go through the schedule and figure out how many points? Like, we only got 23 games left?
Because they play well against good teams and they shit the bed against bad teams. It's a futile exercise with this group. Normally, I'd say yes. Here's some positive Flames news, Rhett. You want some?
Oh, positive.
Happy birthday to one of the guys up in the rafters, Mike Vernon, today. 60. How about that? And I don't think most Flames fans of anywhere near our age need a reminder of what he meant to that 89 team, but hey, it's an excuse to play some of that Game 7 overtime. Vernon was unbelievable. No way they get out of round 1, never mind win the cup, if Vernon isn't. This is Vernon against Vegas, who, of course, were in 1989 playing in the league as well.
Come on now.
This is obviously not
the play. That's a big goal.
Vernie, there's
who has Vernon's contact info in his phone.
There you go. And they've actually
happy birthday, Vernie.
Mike Vernon. Not about Vernie. Great guy. Always smiling. Also, we missed an anniversary yesterday. Yesterday was an anniversary of a Jerome McGinley 4-goal, 4 different ways night. I think Mario did all 5 once, but this is one of those like rare feats, kind of like hitting for the cycle in baseball or something like that. It was a few years ago. Jerome, power play goal, Jerome, shorthanded goal, Jerome, even strength goal, Jerome, empty net goal. All he missed was penalty shot goal.
He would never score on a penalty shot. He was terrible at breakaways.
He was no good on breakaways, yeah.
You'd have to pretend someone was chasing him.
Weird he made the Hall of Fame despite that.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Looks
overlooked
good
it
and
for him.
It's the Hall of Fame now, right? It's so more lenient than it used to be. So much more lenient.
So soft. First ballot. NHL. We had a trade yesterday, fellas, and a big one. We have a trade to announce. I think you're going to want to hear this. It was not Gavrikov going from Columbus to Boston. Hey, Jarmo or Jarkko Kekalainen, go screw your hat. I'm going to find a better defenseman at a lower price. Bruins load up. The Jackie Bear, Garnet Hathaway, the former Flame, he comes over. Orlov, who's a very big, strong, talented defenseman at both ends. Boston's way better today, guys, and they've already been the class of the NHL all season. Washington gets a first, a second, and third. Also have to eat Craig Smith's money, and that's not far off from what the price Columbus was asking for a single Gavrikov, who I don't think is as good as Orlov. It's a nice little bit of work.
I think Orlov's awesome. He was one of their best defensemen in that run. And Hathaway is a Boston Bruin, right?
What a Bruin, right?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah. Well, and he was a Brown Bear. It's a Brown, the Bears. I mean, fits the bill. It's perfect.
Now, in this as well, there was, because this was the three-way, right? Didn't Minnesota get in on this as well? Because Washington is eating some money. Yeah, Washington send an Orlov eventually goes to Minnesota. They eat some of his money, and then it goes to Boston. So it's a big, it's a first, a third, and a second, and all of that. But with the year that Boston has had, where those Marchand and Bergeron, where those guys are at in their career, Krejci, you gotta go. You've got to go.
You got to go. Yep, for sure. And these aren't guys you're like, ooh, I don't know how they're going to fit in. It's like, nope, these are two guys that have, you've seen in some hardened playoff battles. They're the right type of player for postseason hockey. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to the cup, but it certainly means their probability of winning the cup is up even higher. Back to Dom and his prediction model, his probability models.
Sorry, can you go back to that, look at Hathaway's face. Like, that's grizzled. He's ready to be a Boston Bruin. Let's fucking
He's a Bear already.
Let's fucking get out of fucking right.
It's like the Wolverine in sales meetings.
Why did we let him go?
Hathaway.
It was the year
What's
they
that?
gave.
Why did we let him
Don't
go?
do it.
They were capped out. $1.5 million is not too much for a guy like him. And Boston's probabilities, they're better after the trade. They were already heavy favorites for the cup. So we'll see how that goes. The curse of the President's Trophy may or may not exist this year. Tune in the postseason. Stanley Cup odds up to 1/3. That's ridiculously high. We've seen leading odds below 20% a lot of years. That's insane. Washington, by the way, tells a story they're selling as well. Speaking of which, let's go to Detroit, where as of this morning, they wake up in a playoff spot, Rhett. Detroit.
Detroit.
Slow build for Stevie Y, and all of a sudden they are on a heater. Let's look at the Eastern Conference. We thought this was going to be Sleepy Bear the rest of the way, Dino. Nuh-uh. This is incredibly compact. 5 points separating 6 teams, 2 playoff spots in there. And look at the games played. Buffalo has got 4 games in hand on Florida, 5 games in hand on the Islanders. Detroit's got games in hand. Pittsburgh's got games in hand. This is going to be fun in the East coming down the stretch.
6 teams, as you look at them right now, which 2 do you want just for
entertainment?
I guess you've got some, you're invested in the Sabres, but just from an entertainment standpoint, which 2 do you want getting in?
Florida, Buffalo.
I agree. And I would also, Detroit wouldn't upset me either. That's a nice story to see them turning around. But Florida, I mean, if you're the Boston Bruins and you're going to play a wild card, how about if Florida starts clicking with Tkachuk and all of a sudden Bobrovsky rounding into form? I don't know.
So is this Alex bringing his own? Is this Alex bringing his own graphic into the show to include Ottawa? Because we just had the last one.
They're right there.
It was pretty clear on the last graphic what we had there, but this one seems to include Ottawa, which is weird.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez.
Good job, Alex.
So
Snuck it right in there.
Alex, if you were smart, you'd cheer for them to lose. Start losing. Get better pick.
I'll get another chip. They gave up a second rounder to get rid of Zaitsev. What the hell are you doing getting rid of a second rounder? Jeez.
They got to make room for Uyghur.
The Flames are dying to get rid of a top 4. We know how good Zadorov is in the top 4. That totally makes sense, right? Yeah. And speaking of that playoff race, fellas, Florida bolstering their lineup tonight as the Duke is back. Anthony Duclair has not played all year, will tonight. Had to do a little bit of cap gymnastics up and down around the fringes of the roster, but they bring back a guy who was part of that line with Huberdeau and Bennett last season that was fantastic for the Panthers. A little more depth. And that's the Boom Cat. Nope, that's Doug Plagans with the victory shades there, tweeting this out from practice. How about that from Morning Skate earlier today?
Good for him. No Bennett, no Barkov, though, which is part of
Barkov not
getting
playing
Duclair in as well. Yeah.
And
finally,
trading them.
Rhett, you went through a lockout, and I guess when you see one coming, the PA will talk to guys, your agent will talk to you. This is an Adrian O'Corin story, former Flame, that showed up on social. And look, it's the internet, so it has to be 100% true. But just some of the Playboy vibes from Alex McGillney. Let's have a read of the tweet. So during the lockout, they had a war chest, and they're like, okay, guys, we're going to give you some stipends. How much stipends? How much money are you going to need a month? You got to write it down. And some guys are like, oh, I need $5K a month. Other guys are like, I only need $2,000. McGillney wrote down $120,000 a month. I was sitting next to him. What are you doing? He was like, a guy needs to live. He was serious. Alex McGillney. What a beauty.
Just a quick 120.
Just
120 a month. What?
I got a bit of a burn rate. We like to do things. You only live once. Hey,
I got mad bills.
Do they tax it? I don't know. Is it taxed or is it?
Exactly.
I'm not stopping caviar and bubbles now that I've started. That's lunch every day. Come on. So there's Alamo wrapping up your Pinder report for the week. Thank you, fellas.
Pinder report brought to you by Village Honda, the all-new 2023 Honda Accord. New generation, sophistication, the styling, all new features. This is a big deal when a vehicle, a sedan like the Accord, gets redesigned and then lands. Check out the Accord. Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall for more details. VillageHonda.com, your dealership for life. Thank you, Village Honda, as always, for bringing us the Pinder report, for putting your name on the Pinder report for whatever reason that you do. Not everybody does. Apparently they do. Retro.
Wow.
Were you a practical joker? Did you play pranks on teammates?
I don't laugh.
Back
Life's
in the day?
not about laughter. It's about taking shit seriously. And the world doesn't owe you a living, right?
Were you pranked? Would they take runs at you, have fun at your expense?
It's makeup. You're serious.
Yeah. When you're a leader in the room, in the room, Dean, they don't take cheap shots at you. Them above that.
Yeah. Well, I've got a video here. There it is, of a recent prank that was played upon you. We know that we need you to go to Outdoor Dental and get the sleep study done and get that soft palate, the laser treatment done. It's affecting your quality of life. You're falling asleep, sometimes behind the wheel, which is not safe. But I just don't like it when guys are having fun at your expense. So you can see here, I don't know,
this is my new shop.
Getting some work done on your vehicle. Look, you're right out of it. You're fast asleep.
Fucking God. Man, damn, my fucking ears ringing like a motherfucker. I'll drive with. Fuck you, man. Laugh your fucking ass off. Well, you won't be laughing when I slap the shit out of you. Fucking motherfucker.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck. I swear to God, man. I'll slap the shit out of you, man. Motherfucker.
Rhett,
man, you fucking that fucking shit's fucking wrong right there.
Rhett, I just hate seeing you like
fucking your shit. I'm still here fucking ringing.
I'm tired.
How is it now? Is it still?
One ear is not good. The one ear is
well,
I hate seeing you like this.
Yeah,
God, I just wish you'd
find, and then you swing by hearing loss clinic. I mean,
go and see Dr. Jay Patel, would you please? Yeah, we could double up on that. Go see the hearing loss clinic. But Start with Outdoor Dental. Dr. Jay Patel, the Wolverine, and I had lunch with him. He said the barn burner people have been coming in and asking about it. They've been getting the treatments. It's working. So be like the other barn burner folk who have gone in and gotten this treatment done. Two treatments, 15 minutes each, increases the tension in the soft palate at the back of, up in the back of your jib there. Non-surgical, obviously. It's pain-free. A lot better than having people do that kind of stuff to you. Go and check them out online, book in, get your consult, and do what you have to do. It's super easy. Outdoor.dental is the website. Jay Patel is the doctor, and he's a great guy. And you know what? While you're in there, you're going to want to probably just take all of your stuff there because they have no drills, no needles. It's the laser treatment. It's the new way to do things as far as dentistry is concerned. They are cutting and leading edge. Cutting edge, leading edge, cutting. No cutting. It's lasers. It's Outdoor Dental. Look at that.
Poor Rhett. Just tired. It's not his fault he has sleep apnea. He hasn't seen Dr. J yet. He can't cross the border.
It's the vicious cycle, though, right? Like I got the sleep apnea, so I can't stay awake. So I'm tired, so I make bad decisions. I eat too many stinger subs now. Things are unfolding quickly.
And then you turn violent.
Yeah.
Then you turn violent.
I don't like when people poke fun at me. It's not enjoyable. I also hate loud noises. My kids know that.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday we were at the Grey Eagle. We were there for Afterburner a couple nights ago. We were there doing the show yesterday. We're going to be stopping by the Grey Eagle every month for a few days. Maybe it's a barn burner, maybe it's an afterburner. And we were saying about the event center, how there's always something going on. We ran into Sheldon Lachambre as we were getting ready to head out. He's like, hey, we've got the show coming up on Friday. We got the Head Pins and Toronto and Lear. Why don't we, do you want to give some tickets away?
Pair away, why not?
Yeah, we do. So we went on social media. We threw it out there. And congrats to Todd Jensen. Todd is off to the big triple bill over at the event center, which tickets are still available at ticketmaster.ca. And check out what else they have going on there beyond this one tonight. Whitney Cummings, stand-up comedian. She was just announced. And Sheldon, we can't give it away. Yeah, she's funny, man. Bert Kreischer, great comedians going through there.
That's the top soft around the world.
And I saw the Vanilla Ice and a kind of a 90s review show going to be hitting. The neat thing about the event center at the Grey Eagle is it country? Is it rock? Is it pop? Is it opera? Is it comedy? They bring it all in. Check out the website, greyeagleresortandcasino.ca. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster and check something. Find what I want to go see Bert Kreischer, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you were saying too, we can't tell anyone yet, but there's some big announcements coming at the Grey Eagle. Said they're going to unload on some huge names in the coming days here, so stay tuned.
Well, yeah, because Sheldon was saying now that bands, pretty much everybody's back into full rotation of touring now. Yeah, everyone's back on the road.
You missed 2 years of touring. Everyone's on tour. Let's go.
Very nice.
Hard to make money if you rely on touring and you can't tour.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Some bands never quit touring, though, Rhett. Some just kept their road show moving down to Florida, right? Look at Boy. How did Vance manage?
How was it, Pinder?
The people that loved it really loved it.
Well, everybody's standing there from the looks of things. Give us a comparable. Who are we? What are we?
Who's the? I mean, it's not a complex thing. It's guitar and vocals and sappy love songs. And he brought
like Jack Johnson.
Is it a Dave Matthews?
Playful than that. No, Dave Matthews has lots of band members. He had a couple songs where he's just out by himself. Trying to think of who that not so hot looking UK guy is that sings ballads. It'd be like similar to that.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, maybe like that. But he's also Aussie.
Louis Capaldi.
All that. It's not
Keith
my
Whitley?
vibe. We had a lovely dinner before.
Dead.
Yeah.
Was married to Lori Morgan. Hot.
Tough death.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough death. Tough way to go. Let's do our Betway bets.
Look it up, Pinder. Look it up.
I
Pinder.
Do our Betway bets of the day. I went to the Betway app this morning to look at my Betway bets, and right at the top of the screen of my app, which I have on my phone, which I encourage you to get, Betway Boost. They had a big old boost going there. And I said, you know what the H? I'm going to jump on this. I just want to see how to what degree they boosted this, because they've got the trifecta: Carolina, Toronto, and Colorado all to win.
All
favorites. Little boost, plus 375. Yeah, they boosted a little bit. Plus 375 for a Leafs, Avalanche, and Carolina win. The Senators, we don't need to even talk about the Senators. Maple Leafs and the Wild, Avalanche at the Jets, plus 375. Also, another one of the pre-built bets, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, they each score tonight, plus 250. I feel like that's good value for guys that are goal scorers. Those are my Betway bets of the day.
We hadn't talked about it, but Colorado in action tonight, so the Saturday game will be second half of back-to-back. I had not realized that yet. Huge moron that was at a concert last night, watching the Flames live. My bets, I've got a couple of the similar vibe. I'm heading into that Leafs Wild game, liking Toronto as well. Let's stay hot with Ryan O'Reilly. He had a hat trick his last game out, 5 shots. He's got Mitch Marner on his wing. He's getting back to scoring goals. Anytime goal, plus 220. And Rhett, nobody loves a game-opening snipe more than Tage MF Thompson, who has been filling the net at an incredible pace this year. Panteros and Sabres. This has got some who wants to make the playoffs vibes. Tage does if he scores first, plus 700. Big game hunting.
It's the Betway
bets. Did he score a real beauty yesterday?
I think he scored again. It's unbelievable. Like, is he at 40 yet? He's got to be flirting, because it passed to a second to 40. McDavid's at 45. Like, it's remarkable the season he's put together. For 2 years ago, we're like, what is he? Is he going to be a player in this league? And now he's a superstar locked in at $7 million. Some good work out there. Yeah, Tage Thompson with 2 last night, 37 and 38. Oh, and the hat trick, 39 unassisted. He's 1 away from 40. Are you kidding me? It's not even March yet. Oh.
He'll do that first period for you tonight, Pinder. You're going to be in the money.
You will be in the money.
I'll talk to Razor to talk to him and tell him to get his ass going. Let's go.
I just leave him alone. He's doing great on his own here. He's whatever he's doing.
It'll really help your cause if the Panthers could take a penalty early, because if he gets a chance to rip it, now you're
Matty Tkachuk's going to run into a goalie and off they go to the power play. Love it.
Yep. Tkachuk, by the way, has owned the Sabres this year. Like, he's in their kitchen. He's making soup. He's pouring drinks. He's loving beating up on the Sabres.
Just making himself at home, that prick.
Yeah. Very comfy.
He looks comfy in that jersey. The rest of the team's a little off, but it ain't on old Matt Tkachuk. He is sitting 5th in league scoring with 78 points in 57 games.
Jesus.
Yeah.
28 saves
those
already.
Guys.
Fuck. Don't let go if you get them.
Just looking at the schedule for the Flames next week. Obviously, you got Colorado Saturday, Boston, Toronto. It's always a crazy event when an original 6 team or one of those teams comes in. You got Boston and Toronto coming in next week, so lots of media. There'll be lots of alumni and hangers-on hanging around coming to get a piece of Austin Matthews and Pasternak. I'll tell you what, though, for the Calgary fan, you got some star power coming into the Dome next week. Should be some great crowds. Yeah. And like you say, they've played teams tough. They beat Colorado at the start of the year. I think Boston's tough regardless, but we got a hell of a week coming up next week. Not just in magnitude and hopefully in entertainment level. It should be some fun games coming up here.
You see that Minnesota game? They're up the 3-game homestand. Boston, Toronto, Minnesota. You know what that is right there? Proverbial 4-pointer. So careful there.
Just gratuitous and egregious. There was no need for that whatsoever. What are we doing this week?
It's a big one.
What do we got
4 nights later, they're in St. Paul.
Practice tonight. 4 games tomorrow, 2 on Sunday, and then we're done. That's it for the season.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And then tryouts next week.
For
hockey.
For next year's hockey, yeah.
Next year's hockey. How stupid is that? In February.
Yeah, hey, don't do anything all off season. You've already made the team. That sounds good. That's the message you want to send to these fat cat kids, right, Rhett?
These kids are so brutal. We should do a podcast on the stupidity of children and the ignorance of adults.
Well, we have the image
So
for
everybody.
the artwork for that show.
Pretty
It's
much
the Rhett
There's a lot of
Fisted Cloud. Like we got the
Yeah.
art for it. We just need to get a producer and a co-host for you. Away you go.
Just the clown. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
I'm up for it.
Should do a
Whatever you wanna do.
podcast on the stupidity of kids and adults.
Ignorance of
Need
adults.
everybody.
Stupid. Yeah.
I
don't even know.
Did you get your? Did you take my advice and get those pills to help you sleep? The supplements, or you didn't
I
even
don't
see
know.
it?
Did you give me?
Oh
No, I
yes,
don't.
he mentioned it
Well,
multiple
I never
times.
know what's.
I gave
So
you a
chew the
list.
I don't know if.
tree, take
Yeah.
4 of these and 168 milligrams of that. Put a ear light on, and you'll sleep like a baby. Might die, but you'll sleep well.
Yeah.
I'm looking
No, we'll
forward to
have
getting
some kids sport thing this weekend. I'm hoping that the weather warms up a little bit because there's not
It's
much to
turning
do
Saturday.
outside when it's this freaking cold.
Crisp in
Jesus
the morning
Christ.
tomorrow, and then by the afternoon, very reasonable. Perfect outdoor
Yeah.
rink afternoon. Go get it.
What does your wife have you doing, Ryan?
We got one kid staying home from school today, so we'll see. If he's better, that changes everything.
You got illness in the
Yeah.
house? That sucks.
Oh, he's faking
My
it. Can't
kids.
tell with this.
Oh yeah, I had one of those a couple
He
weeks ago.
is. My one buddy's so proud of him. He's like, he is just a wheeler and dealer. This is unbelievable. Like, where'd you get those $10 from? You don't have any money. He's like, oh, I took some game pucks and sold them. I'm like, what? Now I can buy candy. It's too smart.
Oh
this
my
little
God.
bastard. Yeah. He's like, he's going to be a drug dealer. I'm like, oh no.
You know what? Lock the liquor cabinet and hide your wallet.
I know,
That kid's
dude.
gonna
He's
rob you
7 and
blind.
under sweat. Yes. How'd you
Yeah.
get $10? Oh, I sold some pucks. They were signing pucks for kids.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Another great week of Barn Burner on location, back in studio. We appreciate you. We had we mentioned St. Eugene Golf Resort and Casino has come on board as one of the new sponsors. We have a couple more coming on here right quick. We can't say enough about the support we've gotten, and we appreciate it. Subscribe and like on YouTube and everywhere you go. Please follow the social media. We have some fun things coming. We were talking with Sheldon yesterday over at the Grey Eagle about a potential event coming up. Obviously, the golf St. Eugene, maybe something there, but we're pumped about how things are going. Rob Kerr comes into the fold this week. Just a Game. Follow, like, subscribe. He's got Perry Barazan coming in studio. He's got guests lined up and big plans for that show. And it just continues. Of course, we've got Flames Nation Citizens. We've got Afterburner and all that. And we're just building, baby. We're building this thing. And we want everybody to come along for the ride. And we appreciate all the support so far. It's been amazing, guys.
Big week next week.
It's been how long has it been? We started
4.5 months.
October?
Not crazy. It's like, oh, was it a decade? No, 4.5 months. Oh, okay. I was off by a
How
bit.
many years you been doing the show? Yeah, 4.5 months.
10?
Have
No,
a great
4.5.
weekend, everybody. Yeah, appreciate you.
Suck.
God love you.
Thanks,
See you
fellas.
next week.
Yeah.